This video is, let's see if I can use this writing tool. Ooh, kind of messy. So this is 6.2, and this is video, I'm just going to shorten that, video number 3. And I'm doing this video slightly differently because for these examples here, example 2 and the your turn, which is example 3, we're going to be graphing these using Desmos. So I'm going to be flipping over to Desmos. So here is Desmos, which is just desmos.com. Most of you should be familiar with it. And what I want to type in here is that first example 2, which is 2E. You just type in E. The computer knows what that is. To the, now for to the, to make an exponent, I can do shift number 6 on my keyboard and then just put in -x. Or I can use the Desmos keyboard here and say I would like an exponent, so right here. And then I can put in, for that first example, -x. Okay, I'm going to move that keyboard now. So here is the graph, okay? But on our notes, right, we need some coordinate points before we graph. So on Desmos here, this does help because you get a general idea what your graph should look like. It should be decay because the exponent is negative and this looks like a decay graph. But now see this little gearbox right here? I want to click on that. And then this that looks like a table, and notice when you hover over it, it says convert to table. That's what I want to use to get my coordinate points. So I have, here's the x values that it automatically puts in, and here's the y values. So onto your note packet, when x is -1, you just want to copy 5.44, round that. When x is 0, you're going to fill in 2. And when x is 1, I would fill in 0.74. Okay, so on these graphs, I only gave 3 points on your notes, so go ahead and just fill in those 3. So right here, you're going to fill in 5.44, 2, and 0.74. And then you're going to graph those 3 points and connect them with a smooth curve with arrows on both ends. I have a scan of my notes, so I will show you what that should look like. So this is what you should have. So here's the y values filled in. Here's my 3 points, smooth curve, arrows on both ends. All right, let's do the next one. Remember, pause this video if I'm going fast, because I am going fast. So to get rid of this, you can just put an X in here. And then this one, I just wanted to show you, you can also put that whole equation in. Y equals, doesn't matter, 0.75. And then I'll use the keyboard this time. So I'm going to type in the E right from my keyboard and then say, hey, use this button. I need an exponent. And then this is going to be 4x. So my exponent is positive. So I should have a growth curve over here. I do. You can see it's really steep over here. So let's go and click on our gearbox here where it says edit list and then choose convert to table. And so when x is -1, we're pretty close to 0, which would be this point right here. It's almost at 0. I'm sorry, here's -1. So close to 0. When x is 0, we're a little bit less than 1. So that's 0.75 right there. Notice when I hover over these points, it gives me the coordinates of them. And when x is 1, we're all the way up here somewhere at 40, way up here. So this is growing really fast. So you want to fill in these 3 coordinate points on your notes. And then make sure when you graph it that it looks very steep, just like it is. So this would be this one. All right, so here's the points I filled in, -1, 0.01, 0, 0.75, 140. And then I didn't even put that third point because it's at 40, way up there somewhere. But notice my graph shows that really steep growth like we saw on the Desmos graph. And then these 2 points are graphed. All right, the next one is a your turn. So I'll just go over one more time how to type that in. Remember, you can put the y equals, or you don't have to. I can just put 5e. This time I'm going to do shift number 6, and that hops me up and gives me an exponent, 0.25 to the x. So this is a positive exponent, so it should be growth. I'm showing growth there. And this one's a little bit flatter. You can see this one is not growing as quickly, and over here it's nice and flat. Now what I would like you to do on this one is, I'm going to go ahead and click on table here. I want you to add a couple more coordinate points to your notes. So in your note packet, I gave you, or asked you for, -1, 0, and 1. Down here, I'd like you to add x is -2 and x is -3. Because you'll find, I found when I just graphed these 3 points, it was kind of hard to get a good picture of the graph. So we want to add -2 and -3. And then if we go back to Desmos, there's -2. So there's my y value that goes with -2. And then I can also show you how you can click down here in the table, type in any x value you want, and it'll give you the y value. So when x is -3, my y is 2.36. Say I wanted to see what happened at -4. I can just type in -4. Say I wanted to see what happens at, I don't know, x is +10. There's my y value. So you can put in any x value there you want. So pause the video and try that problem on your own. And then hopefully you have paused it and graphed it. And then here is what your graph should look like. So here's where I added those other 2 x values. I asked you to add -2 and -3, just so I could get a better idea of what was happening over here. Because when I just had these 3 points, it didn't show me enough detail on this end of the graph. So on your graph, you should have 5 points. Smooth curve, arrows on both ends, should look like that. So that is it for this video.